So yeah, I just recently mentally got out, and it was pulled upon my heart seeing and getting in contact with friends like Molly and Patience and other ex-Jehovah's Witnesses that got out and escaped. That we all had a 10-year gap where we were just kind of free falling and whatever the fuck.
Finding our way.
Finding our way.
There was definitely free falling.
There's free falling and then there's finding your way. I free falled for a little while. I think I'm reliving my 20s now, the adult way, and I relived my teens during that first 10 years of being out. I definitely just went, and I'm glad I did. But there's still a lot of things that I noticed that those who were not raised Jehovah's Witness mentally have that those that are Jehovah's Witnesses, that were raised Jehovah's Witnesses, do not have. Thus, I wanted to create the Exodus group. And this is why my passion I'm seeing. Because for 10 years, I literally bounced from house to house. I could hold a job, but I could not hold a house and pay my bills. For 10 years, I didn't understand the concept that there is a tomorrow. Because we're always taught that Armageddon is coming tomorrow, so therefore don't worry about it. And for me, I mentally took that as, you know what? Fuck my credit. Not really fuck my health, but fuck my credit. And don't worry about that bill.
Education.
Fuck education.
Learning to function as an adult.
Right.
In society.
Or better yet, just stay a child. And literally stay in child mindset because there's no reason. And I literally did not grow up until recently. Mature myself, let me say it that way. And still a little scared of being mature. And after this meditation and deep thought about that, it's really because we were always taught to be children of God and to be sheep of God. We're always taught to be sheep. We're always taught to be children. We're not taught to be adults. We were not taught to be, almost not take responsibility. We took responsibility for some things, yes. But if you grew up as a pioneer or whatever, you were really expected to live with your parents until, at least in our congregation, you were expected to live with your parents until you got married. I know for a fact that there's one sister in the congregation right now that I saw 6 months ago that still lives with her parents, and she's at least 50 years old, waiting to be married, still regular pioneering. Because it's looked down upon for a female to live by herself, because who knows what she's going to be doing by herself. It leads to other things. She could be having the sex. There's no one to check up on you if you're living by yourself. My sister right now, my blood sister, still is 35 years old and still lives in the next room next to my parents. The next room. They share a wall. Like they legit share a wall. That's what I mean about being a child. Because she doesn't know. I mean, she can figure it out, but she doesn't know how to, one, be herself. She's not encouraged to be herself. She's not encouraged to go learn how to pay bills, lights. I'm not saying she doesn't put in. I don't know their situation. I seriously don't. But lights, taxes, learning how to juggle this week, that week, or whatever bill you have. Yes, she's traveling the world. And I applaud her for that. But she doesn't know how to literally live on her own. That's the one thing I do applaud my boyfriend for. My partner encouraged me to live by myself for 2 years. And that scared the living shit out of me. 2 years later, I'm a stronger person for it. That's what I mean about being a child. But that's also why I wanted to create the Exodus group. Because there's a lot of things as ex-JWs that we just don't get. And we're looked to as weird to the world. the world. Not weird, but, they kind of look at us like, why didn't you get that? You're 30-something years old. Why don't you understand how to do X, Y, Z? Budget your money. Me, it was budgeting. Others is healthy relationships. For me, at the beginning, it was definitely healthy relationships. Because every relationship after I got out of the congregation reflected my father in some way. They were all mental controlling. Why? Because everything beforehand was mentally controlling. They were all emotionally abusive. Why? Because I was emotionally abused, and that's what I was used to.
That's what you're taught love is.
And you're also taught that love is emotionally abusive, so that's what you look for.
Unconditional. Yeah.
And 3, not for me personally, but there's a lot of us who self-cope through alcohol, drugs, and what have you. Because we're not taught to deal with our own emotions. Now, we drink on this show because it helps with the emotional release. And why not have a glass of wine? And let's deal with our emotions. But I want to create the Exodus group because I want us to have a safe place to learn these things, to help each other grow. And maybe it won't be 10 years for you to go through your free fall. And you can gain these skills and gain this knowledge. But also emotionally get in tune with what's going on. Deal with the emotions, because running from it doesn't help. I will say sometimes you might need a coping mechanism to help out with it, but as long as you still have to face it. You still have to face the problem. The problem will be there after you finish that bottle of wine, Angela. That's just it. The problem will still be there. I wanted to create the Exodus group in order for us to move forward and be stronger as a community of survivors. So the stories on this show, on this channel, will be more about testimonials. That, life is not what they say it was. I used to love when I was a kid. I'm laughing at it now. And we experienced this when we went down to Macon. Because everybody looked at us like we were shit of the earth. And I know we all look good.
Yeah, we did.
But I know, like when I was Jehovah's Witness and I saw a dysfunctional person, Jehovah's love is not in there. They're not as bright. Oh my goodness, her hair is not this. And so judgmental. Now, what the hell does my hair and my nails have to do with how much God loves me? God doesn't love her because you see the car she drives? I had a brand new car. What do you mean? Say something. But we did that to show that God's love is with us, not with that person. And we actually looked and searched for something so that we would put them down. So therefore, no. Go through your free fall. But just because you're out doesn't mean God's love is not with you. There's one time, about 5 years out of the congregation, out of the organization, I was having a challenging day at the time, and my client sat down with me. And I told her the whole story. She's from England, and I love her. Georgia. Shout out to Georgia. Her name is Georgia. Anyway. And I was still carrying this guilt and hatred for myself at the time. And she looked at me and she says, listen, does it still rain on your head? I said, yes. Are you still provided food, clothing, and shelter? I said, yes. She said, do you have a business and is everything taken care of? And are you provided for? In other ways, are you loved? I said, yes, I am. That's God's love. God still loves you. The sun still shines on your head. The rain still falls. You're still fed. You're very provided for. It might not be what you want, Might not be the BMW X5 with the tinted windows, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But at that time I was on the train, so I still had transportation. And that's the one thing I've noticed. That since I've left the organization, might not be what I want, but it's always what I need. It's provided for. So I'd say that to say, let's create this Exodus group. Let's exodus. I love that word. Let's exit out. If you want to exit out, inbox us. The email will be right here. We're still building this nonprofit. But I know that together, if you have a service to offer or what have you, right now I'm looking for counselors. I'm looking for therapists. I'm looking for people who can also donate money, but also donate time or just donate an ear. Because even I have my hard days. I had one yesterday, actually, that, you know what, I was listening to a story on a podcast, and she was talking about her wedding and how much her mom loved her dress and how much her mom, and I'm like, her mom this and her mom that, and it just, I will never have that. My mom is not invited to my wedding at this moment in time. And I say that only because I don't want her energy there. Even if she did come, I don't want the judgment and energy of, so now that you're married, you're going to be a Jehovah's Witness, right? No, I don't want that energy there at all. And yes, that hurts, and yes, that's painful. But I must take care of myself first. And yeah, the day of my wedding, if that day ever comes, I will cry. I'll have a memorial for her, something. I'll have something there. I know I will.
But you'll also have love.
But I'll have more love.
Not just from the man you're marrying.
Exactly. And I have the love there will be so much more. And the love I've experienced by all my family, my new family, the family I picked now. Mm-hmm. The family that I've only known for 10 years or so. I have so many more sisters and brothers, not even friends. Molly's one of them. She's in the room right now. She'll show her face later. That I call on a whole lot easier than anybody in the congregation ever. Might have took time to build that, but that's okay. And I say that to say, if you're thinking about leaving, inbox me. Let's talk about it.
You don't have to be completely alone.
You do not have to be completely alone, one. And two, J.W., critical thinker, said this. You must prepare yourself first beforehand, because I didn't. And you got to prepare yourself mentally, financially, emotionally, and spiritually before you leave. Not saying stay if you're ready to go. I get that. But at least approach those areas. Financially, of course, because if you're dependent on your parents, or you're dependent on your husband, or you're dependent on whoever, you got to know where you're going to go. And we would love to start a home. We don't have that home yet, but we would love to start that home. To at least give you that time by yourself, or that time to get your stuff together, get your shit together. To get you on your feet. You guys prepare yourself physically. Clothes, food, what have you. The things that you're going to need. Because at that time, you are on your own for the most part. Now, I do want to be able to have, I do already have clothes. If anybody needs job clothes, I already have clothes at all shapes and sizes, mostly for females. If you need clothes to help you out, I have that now. Not a lot, but I do have that now, and I am accepting more donations. You have to set yourself spiritually, because spiritually is not just only that mind-body connection. You also have to prepare yourself spiritually. Spiritual is not just, and unlike we were taught, spiritual is not just Christianity and religion. Spiritual is your spiritual connection with yourself. I say sit and talk to yourself. Honestly, that might sound crazy. I don't care. You do it already anyway when you beat yourself up in the mirror and say you ain't shit. And you fat and you ugly. That's still talking to yourself, ain't it? Journal. Journaling is the best way. Talk about how you feel. Go ahead and let that shit out. Because it is an emotional shit. Journal. Let that go. Go ahead and write down your worst case scenario. I'll talk about more about that later. But the main thing and the last one I say is prepare yourself emotionally. Because when you finally see somebody that you've known for years and you spent money on and you went out to eat with them and they know your darkest secrets and they know this and they know that and they turn their back on you, it's gonna hurt. Not gonna. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna crush you. And it's okay to cry. And it's okay to let that shit go. And it's okay to call somebody and say, that bitch just did what? Hold up. She didn't even say hello to me. She turned her nose at me and walked away. I'm human. It's okay to go through that. It's okay to get a glass of wine, sometimes a bottle if you need to, as long as you're not driving home, and cry that shit out. It's okay. And I do it about once a week for my mother. I seriously do. Some weeks are better than others. Sometimes it's only once a month. But that's okay. That's what I want to help you get, is that emotional preparedness. So let's talk about it. Let's chat. Hit the subscribe button. Share this. Comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Also, let me know what emotional things that you've had to go through. Not just your exit testimony, but maybe some things that you might want to talk about that actually gave you strength in your exodus of leaving the JW organization. I'm going to share what has strengthened me. I'll share my fails. I'll share what has strengthened me to get in this very positive relationship now. Molly will as well, and I hope others will as well. And I look forward to hear your comments, your thoughts. Hit subscribe, hit share. Thank you for watching. You are stronger than you think, and you're stronger than what anybody ever told you. I'll see you soon. Bye. Thank you.